All right, everybody. So if you guys have, haven't heard me talk about it by now, or you weren't in my other academy, well, this is one of, my favorite things to do. It's called black trading. And my mentor actually put me onto this and it actually helps out a lot. So I have obviously my template already and I already have it here already. So what I do is I turn my screen black, my charts, my candlesticks, everything. And why is that? My mentor put me on, about a year and a half ago, and I've been trading like it ever since because it allowed me to look at the market for what it was. It allowed me to look at the market for, just structure. If you guys want to be better at structure trading and purely price action, I suggest turning your charts black and seeing how you can go from there. Because what it allows you to do, it doesn't let you get, scared, by one red candle, one blue candle. Let's say you're selling and you see one blue candle or green candle going up. That may cause you to get out the trade and close it when it's really just a retracement. Or you're buying and you see, one red candle that goes back down and you get out when you should have just stayed in the trade the entire time and just let it retrace. You know what I mean? And this takes away that retracement factor because you don't know what these candles are. You just see it slowly going up. But if I retrace it and put it back to normal, there's a red candle here, there's a red candle here, which may have, you've seen it go up, and then come back down and close here. Then you see this red doji. That may have caused you to close right here, when in fact, it went all the way, up some more. So what I do is I keep my charts black and I just focus on structure. Structure is all it is. I have my horizontal rays. Let me stay in, drawing mode. And I have a right here because, obviously price stopped here. Price didn't just get here and stop, randomly. So I'm in a hotel room right now. Let me spread out real quick because I'm starting to get excited. Like I love this trading stuff. So you have a head and shoulders here, boom, boom, boom. And so you can obviously see why price did head back up. But at the end of the day, I'm placing my raise, right here because I did know when price came back down and stopped here, it stopped here at a mid level. So it went back up. Cool. I'll make sure I don't disrespect it and not even acknowledge it. For new traders, I recommend drawing it on. If you're experienced, then the less clutter, the better. Just use your eye test. But overall, I see price right here. Let me bring it up really quick, and I see that I can draw a trend line as well. How it was heading up. And now I have my trend line on here. I have my little 3 areas. So price were to, when I'm looking at structure right now, all I'm doing is I'm just looking at, price to come down to this area. And it kind of, there's kind of a confluence right here between this right here, this area right here. You see how price got here, stopped, went back up, stopped here, went back up. Now it got lower and lower, right here was lower than that. And this is lower than that. This is the only one that became back high again. But I wouldn't be surprised if, GA stopped right here at 182, which is also a psych level, and it bounces off of this trend line, this, minor, support, and then, give us a few dojis like it did right here, right here, right here, and then headed back up for a good, 100, 200 pips. But right now, I'm not analyzing the chart to trade. I'm just giving you guys on why black charts are important. You see, I'm not looking at any of these as red candles. I'm looking at it going down, a few dojis and going up, down, consolidation, few dojis, and then going up. Over here, it topped out, few consolidation. We can go to the 1 hour candlestick and go all the way over here. You see the red crossed over the blue way up here. It dropped down. Some of these could be blue candles for all you know. Like obviously the one that's going straight down could be red. But I think this is a blue right here. Let me yeah, that is a blue right here. I can tell because I retested it. Blue right here, that could have caused you to get out. And we want to, you guys may say, oh, no, it's just one candle. You guys would be surprised on how scared you guys are when you're in profit and you see one little candlestick go against you. Then you're like, oh, let me just make sure that I keep my profit and let me just close my trade or X, Y, and Z. When you should have just stayed in it the whole time. You know what I mean? So the reason why I love these black candlesticks is because it allows you to just trade the market for what it is. Nothing else. You just trade the market. You keep it. It takes your emotions out. And when your emotions are out of trading and you're very, very robotic, you become a excellent trader so fast and so quick. You have no idea. You become an excellent trader just like that. And when I say excellent, I don't mean like a pure profitable, but I do mean excellent in the sense of you are just way better when you take all your emotions out. You can be the best technical trader in the world and the best fundamental trader in the world, but if you aren't emotionally and psychologically sound, you don't stand a chance in this market because this market is very, very hard to, maximize. And that only happens when you take your emotions out of it. And the black charts do that with trading. It'll take some time to get used to. I wouldn't recommend, newbies doing this, but keep this in your arsenal. Manage, see how it is, trading with, regular blue and red or green and red. Go from there, right? And then afterwards, once you feel like, you're good enough on that, but like your emotions are still getting the best and you can't really control them, feel free to go to a black chart. Feel free to go to a black chart. You will be amazed at, how easier it is to control your emotions, because you're not looking at opposite candles that go against you. You're just looking at the chart for what it is, price action for what it is. You're just trying to trade what you see. That's all you're trying to do. Just trade what you see. Just trade what you see. And there's another confluence, as you can see, that lines up. You see this little, not a little, but this is like a major area right here. And this is actually at 182 flat. I can see why this is a major area, because it comes over here. And you see how, I'm going to delete it right now, but you see how this lines up the bottom of this box right on the trend line. This is why this is a pool of liquidity, where a lot of traders may be looking at the same thing I'm looking at, and the markets may, get them in, come down a little bit more, and then drag price all the way up, another 100, 200 pips, because so many, if I'm looking at this right here and I see this trend line and all these confluences, traders are doing the same thing. Doesn't mean the market is going to do that. The market can easily drop all the way down here and then potentially do that and, potentially fake people out, and hide it behind a fundamental announcement. Because when fundamental announcements come out, the market can do anything, which I get into later in this section, in the fundamental section, how like the spread may widen. But other than that, the more confluences you have, the better. And let me actually get this back to black. And you can see it clear as day. You just have things. This is 184 flat. What I usually do is boom, boom. And you can see clear as day. Like you're just structured out. And like I said, I'll probably, I could delete this. You know what I mean? Because I can kind of see it by heart. And now my chart is clear as day, where I can kind of see, price has the potential to bounce off here and then head it all the way back up to 184 and create that, extra area. I would say, we have a downtrend, but we kind of don't, lower high, and then a higher low. So we can potentially come down here and potentially see another higher low and another rally. So like I said, black charts help you to analyze the market for what it's worth and not so much using your emotions to trade, which is the worst thing you can do.